Hello, and we are live on the Red Pill News. On the Red Pill News, everyone's talking about the Red Pill News. Not really, but I like to think they are. In a good way, too. I think that ultimately, as we observe each other in this universe and learn from other humans on what you like and what you don't like, I think that we can all go forward and have a better world and or universe for us all. But then comes stupidity, and there's no cure for stupidity. You can't fix stupidity. Uh, it just exists. It's the best bet to take those people and put them aside. Make sure that they don't have any power over you and or others, because that makes people suffer. And just keep it there. Keep it there. Turn the knob down to zero and keep it there. You know, but it's not going to happen like that. And we live in a world that's not. Let's see, fair. it's not. It's an unfair world. The people that work the hardest get paid the least. It's an unfair world. Politicians get voted in on popularity because they lie through their teeth, and you don't even know who they really are. It's an unfair world. And there is no justice in this world. There's just percentages of justice, or what you think justice is personally to you. If someone does something wrong to you, they make you into a victim or whatever. A lot of people blame the government for everything, but the government's full of a bunch of people that you elected that you believe they were telling a big bullcrap story. What the hell do you think they're going to do? They're going to help you? They're not going to help you. Only you can help you. You help yourself. You help your family. You help yourself, and then understand that at the same time, you've got this huge crack addict sucking money out of your wallet, and it's Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam, the crackhead. And you give them money and give them money and give them money. Oh, you want to do some good? I want to see something good happen for all of the money that I'm putting out there. No, I don't see that. In fact, I see the opposite. So that's my rant on that. And also pretty privilege. Like this couple, the laundry guy and the Long Island princess. I've already gotten to the point where I can't stand seeing either one of them, and thankfully so. I'm not going to have to see them because they basically solved the case. They found the guy's half-eaten remains in some swamp crap area in Florida. So yeah, he probably went there, scared, freaked out, whatever, out of his mind. Obviously, he wasn't right in the head to begin with, and either killed himself or whatever. Whatever. Case closed. You can get that idiot dog, the bounty hunter, and send him back to the beauty shop, man. You know what I mean? Send him back to the beauty shop. His task is over. They found the guy half eaten. So yeah, and guess what? People want closure. You probably will never know. Never know. But social media has created monsters. And as I just, every time I look in my media sources and stories, there's these things that just stand out at me that are so blatant. And it's like, that's the world of injustice, right? Pretty girl, great body, willing to go on there and be scantily clad, gets an army of followers. They call themselves, they're called influencers, right? They're influencing, much like programming. You know what I mean? But who are they influencing? What young girls are watching this claptrap? These people who are, the only fans where they get paid to do whatever. I don't even know what goes on there. I'm of the school. Don't give your money to anybody. That's Angley school. Don't give your money to anybody. Unless you're going to pay bills, car insurance, things that you need. But girls, no, don't give your money to girls. Don't do it. Oh, this girl's gonna show me a picture of her boobies, and I'm gonna give her $20. Let me tell you, man, you don't want to see those boobies. Your imagination will be way better for you serving of what you think that they look like as to what they actually look like. And also, let me tell you about private parts, man. They ain't pretty. You know what I mean? They ain't pretty. It's not something you want to really get up close and look at all the time. In fact, it's something you want to look at all. Nothing at all. But this is the deal. It's this image that they're pushing and they're putting out there, right? And some of them can make a lot of money being an influencer. Some of them make nothing being an influencer. But it just goes to show you the mentality. See, and I don't do the TikTok thing. I see the TikTok videos people put up on Facebook of just this nonsensical nothing. It's nothing, but it grabs some people's attention. And who could be more stupid than the next? Who can do something more uh, toxic or outlandish or whatever the hell they're going to do. I don't care about that stuff. I don't have time for that stuff. You know what? I have time for work and then sleep. That's my schedule. In the middle there, I make coffee and I eat something. Work, sleep. You know what I mean? Today's my day off. I had to go to the doctor because I have a new doctor and they wanted labs. And then boom, that's your day. They suck the blood out of you, man. Suck the blood. That's your day off. They suck the blood out of you. That's the life. It's just something that you have to understand about life. You do what you need to do, man. So anyway, but you know something? I like my doctor. I can pronounce his name, and he's really cool. And the guy makes it light and festive. He walks in, he's all full of life, man. That's beautiful. The last one, he was like Doctor Death. I got the hell out of there fast. But anyways, and they kicked me out of their practice. But you know something? Leave people with an impression. That's saying, hey, if you're gonna go to the Angley school, that's the first lesson you're gonna learn, man. Aside from don't give your money to women, don't give your money to anybody. If someone approaches you, I've got this great deal. No, 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 no. Unless I mean, you can't close everything out, but I'm talking about I don't know who supports the OnlyFan thing, right? Like, this is a world of free pornography. I mean, free all day and all night, as much as you can even understand or handle, if you're into that type of stuff. You know, Over here on the other side, you got girls who strip down to their bras, or they take it off and they cover up, you know, and people are giving them money. That's the mind-boggling part. Why are you giving them money? And what are you getting out of it? It's not some personal relationship. You don't know them. They're just some stranger you're throwing money at because you think that they look good. It's not doesn't do anybody any good, right? In the end, at the end of the day. But what it does, it creates these monsters. So here's one. She calls herself a model. Model Jeannie Exum. This girl. Yeah, she's attractive. She's not stunningly gorgeous. She had a nice body. It's all right. I mean, if I'm gonna be in the world of judging people, you know, uh, she looks like kind of a psycho. Actually, she's got her eyes are a little tilted, and if you know about psychopaths, you can look up. There's like all kinds of, doctors will disagree about the eyes and all the stuff that goes on, and if they're close together, they're more of a psychopath than the eyes being further apart. Hey, man, you know, it it depends on if you've ever dealt with a psychopath, and that's what they look like. And I'm leaving it there. So this girl, Instagram model, which really in the world means nothing, because like I said, a lot of them will have 3 million people following them. They make nothing. It's just you know it means nothing. The number's big, and that can be impressive to others. other people who are like this who want to be and do this type of stuff. But it's dangerous. I say these things are very dangerous to freedom and to young people, young girls, relationships between people. I mean, this is going to be a generational thing because it all's kind of starting within the last few years, you know. So anyway, Instagram model Jeannie Exum. Ugh, I hate that name, Exum. I don't want to hate on her name, but as I read it, it doesn't make me feel good, man. It makes me feel like, ugh. Who is accused of stabbing her boyfriend with a kitchen knife in Manhattan. Oh my God, I hate getting stabbed in Manhattan, man. And if you're gonna get stabbed, definitely get stabbed in your buttocks, and not in Manhattan. Really? And the COVID era, and then she's stabbing this dude, and you gotta rush him to the hospital. And also allegedly beat up her cousin with a liquor bottle in a fight over finances 2 years ago in Alabama. The 22-year-old allegedly came to blows with her cousin Gina Marlowe, 23 years old, when they lived together in an apartment in Phoenix City back in 2018, spelled Phenix. A person with knowledge of the attack didn't want to be named. They didn't want this girl kicking their ass, too. Marlowe suffered bruising to her face, cuts to her arm, and had a fake nail ripped off during a fight. Phoenix police confirmed they were called to investigate the October 21st incident between Exum and Marlowe, but the case was dropped after the cousin declined to press charges. The alleged fight broke out over an argument over Exum's bills. Exum ran into the kitchen and grabbed a bottle of liquor from the kitchen counter. Now, see, now they're not descriptive. Was it a glass bottle of liquor? Was it a plastic bottle of liquor? Because a lot of these young people, man, they don't know about the glass. They go for the cheap plastic. Just saying, it's a different tool for striking. So then she grabbed the bottle of liquor from the kitchen counter, which she allegedly used to strike her cousin across the head. Boom! Knocking her to the floor. She allegedly shouted at her cousin, "I'm gonna kill you! I'm gonna rip your face off! You'll never be nothing!" Oh, double negatives, girl. You are never going to be anything in life. Ah, that's more like it. After Exum left the apartment, neighbors ended up calling the police. After they watched both of them tussling on the ground naked, just saying. Doctors had to completely remove Marlowe's bleeding fingernail in the aftermath. Yikes. Exum moved to California in the wake of the alleged attack and then returned to Alabama soon after. Her relatives said, imagine the relatives, you know. Yeah, man, she went out there to California. She came back. I don't have much of an idea of Alabama, man. I know there's very nice parts of Alabama. Very nice. But they claim Exum, who was raised in Alabama, only started to become famous after launching her OnlyFans account when she abruptly relocated to Miami. Let's see. It was there she started posting racy photos of herself and partying with other girls on social media. Ever since she became kind of famous, she doesn't really talk to people here, an Alabama relative said. Another relative, she thinks she all that and she's not talking to nobody here. That's what they really said. Think she all hot, going to Miami. Relatives said Exum had only moved into her current glitzy apartment in a Hudson Yards high rise about 6 months ago. It wasn't immediately clear when she relocated to the Big Apple. So that apartment where Exum is accused of stabbing her boyfriend, who goes by the name of Baby Boy Pajulas. Almost a guy begging to get stabbed. You know, Baby Boy Pajulas. You don't say that name out loud in New York City. He's lucky his girl got to him first. What's your name? The baby boy Pajulas. Ah, ah, yeah. Get out of here. You disgraced my street. Baby boy. See, but they have all these little things. I mean, you know what? That's social media. And that's this crazy world, this Instagram world with these Instagram girls and OnlyFans, right? And I guess you subscribe, you know, at different rates per month as per what they're going to give you and show you. And I'm wondering where the feminists are, man. I mean, isn't this against your black book of don't do? I mean, for the objectification of females of a sexual nature. Because on one hand, they say don't sexualize me. On the other hand, they say pay me and I'll show you my jujus. You know what I mean? I'll mail you my panties. Pay me. And it really is a double-edged sword, as it were. So there's another dude who oh man, now you're gonna make me think. He's a performer, and then he did some video with this super hot model, right? And then she's saying that he touched her and molested her and did all these things. It's like years and years and years later. I'll dig up the story if I can even think about who the hell they are. But at the end of the day, it's I mean, think about having you're this famous guy anyway, and then these people have so many women coming on to them that are just free and easy all day. But then here's a supermodel, but you're not in a normal circumstance. Okay, we're having dinner and in this nice place, and we're both fully clothed, sitting there looking at each other. No, you're in a video and she's naked with her hand over her crotch and the rest of it out in the open, and he's got his hands all over her in the photo shoot, and they're put your hands here, put your hands there. You would have to be a eunuch not to want to touch a girl like that. I mean, I'm just saying, is it him pushing himself on her? I mean, she's in there naked, being paid to be naked against this dude. So is it a Harvey Weinstein? Have sex with me and you could be in a movie, and then they do it full knowing that's exactly what the deal is. It's like written in the deal, isn't it? Isn't that written in the deal? That prostitution clause when you deal with these types of people, and you know what you're getting. I don't understand what's going on right now. You know what you're getting with them, and it's your choice to do that. So when you partake in these horrible, disgusting worlds, and it drags you down and your soul and everything with it, you're there because you put yourself there. These aren't victims here. You know what I mean? But this girl is just some idiot on Instagram who shows her butt and her boobs, and now she's like stabbed. All right, attacks her sister. That's a felonious assault. What she did, or to her cousin, a felonious assault. Oh, then boom. What about the boyfriend stabbing him twice? So all right, let me continue, man. What about baby boy? Baby boy Pajulas. What about him? So stabbed him in the back and the arm during a fight on Monday evening. And she's a violent person, right? So Exum, who describes herself on OnlyFans as a free spirit from Alabama with a loud mouth and dirty mind. That's like, I'm a free spirit from Alabama with a loud mouth and a dirty mind. And it could be a Britney Spears song. She's gonna come out with a song next week. This girl better she better she better copyright that somehow, man. All right. So the girl with the loud mouth and a dirty mind was arrested after the cops were called to the apartment where her bleeding boyfriend went down to the lobby. She was freed on bail in Manhattan on Tuesday on a second-degree assault charge. So do the cops have like a special monthly fund for OnlyFans girls, so they could pay a reduced bail every time they do something terrible, and then they let them go, they let them walk right out. Because the one thing this girl really needs is to sit there with her big mouth, Alabama mouth, in a New York City holding cell, awaiting to see a judge, which could take a long time. The one thing that she should experience about life when you commit violent acts and you're a violent offender is you're going to encounter people who are also violent offenders, but sometimes much more so, and but then slap someone's hands, let her go. This is the girl's second violent act. So what does it take? So if someone's really this pretty person, a nice body, they put themselves out there, they get that pretty privilege, don't they? Don't they? Because, oh man, try that with anybody else. Try that with some fat girl from a trailer park. Try that with anybody else, any color person, whatever, man. You can put anything in there, right? It's not going to come out the same. So why is it like that? And how do we fix that? More important. So she was freed, and then so she got a second-degree assault charge, and that'll be pushed down until nothing. Then the guy will be like, oh, I forgive her and I'm not going to press charges. That's what they said about the girl getting pelted with the alcohol bottle with the fingernail off, is that she dropped the charges. But you know, you don't, for assaults and for things like this, you don't need to have someone press charges as long as it was witnessed enough and you have enough medical data. The police themselves can press charges, especially here in New York. I don't know about Alabama, but this was New York where this happened, right? And Exum did not return requests for comment on all the terrible things that she did. So let me see. Soon after she was released, Exum started plugging her OnlyFans account and shared a video on Instagram of her smirking and playing with a necklace while being questioned at a cop station. So shouldn't now, since she's made OnlyFans such a big part of this, shouldn't they shut her account down because of the violent attack? I mean, obviously she did it. Obviously, there's no question, right, that she didn't do it, and this, or are they promoting this type of behavior? I wonder about these things. I really do. And also, I'm not a big believer in punishing people before they're proven guilty, but she's promoting the violent behavior by sitting there in a police station and twirling things around and like kind of showing some skin there. And even having her phone on her, that's got to tell you that how screwed up the system is, right? So yeah, that case, that the whole Petito case. I just want to make another comment. If the information does come out, I think you're going to find some shocking stuff. And there was a lot of people that went missing in those days around that couple when they were out, going through those areas. This guy, I seriously doubt that he himself would go and kill these people. And I feel like there's a connection between the two of them. And who knows whatever happened. I can't put it together. I'm not going to make any accusations, but it feels like it's a team effort. And then they also beat on each other, and she attacked him, and there was violent attacks on each other. So you know sometimes you have situations like that where people just don't have a real sense of reality, and they live in a fantasy world, and this is the world that's being created by the social media bit. It's gone beyond of just getting together online and having a laugh with your friends. It's become tools, and also tools of hating. So something really, really, really important to understand about that is that how detrimental that is to society. And this is all new technology for people. So of course there's corporations out there, happy as can be, to exploit that technology, right? So I want to talk about Woody Harrelson punching a guy at the Watergate Hotel, right? And I mentioned this last week a little bit, but I really didn't get a chance to go into it. So Woody Harrelson, of course, actor Woody Harrelson. I really like Woody Harrelson. I like his acting. I like him. I like what he does. You know, he's also known for being a tough dude, man. I like that. I liked it when he was the bartender on Cheers, and he kind of poked fun that he was kind of an idiot, but really gave him a bad rep. Big proponent of marijuana. I don't know anymore. I heard he quit and then went back and forth, whatever, man. So anyway, Woody Harrelson decked an overzealous photographer Wednesday after he allegedly took several photos of the actor and his daughter, according to Washington, D.C. police. Right. Per an incident report obtained by Page Six, police were called to Washington, D.C.'s famous Watergate Hotel. Of course, Richard Nixon, the Watergate and the whole bit. Very nice hotel in the D.C. area. I prefer the Mandarin, but the Mandarin's got all the good stuff. I don't know. Watergate's got more than name, but it's also a very nice hotel. Anyway, it doesn't matter. They responded 11:03 p.m. Wednesday with Harrelson, 60 years old, reporting the incident. That's what you do. You punch someone in the face and then you call the cops. Police say a man who appeared to be intoxicated had been taking photos of Harrelson and his daughter. And when the Zombieland star allegedly approached the man to tell him to stop and delete his photos he'd already taken. I could see Woody Harrelson doing that. Harrelson claims the man lunged at him in the attack to grab his neck. And then, according to the report, self-defense, the actor punched the unnamed aggressor in the neck. I love this story. I know I'm like reiterating myself from last week. I love it because I just told the story last week on how Ben Affleck jumped in J Lo's way, like when the guy was coming at her with wanting a selfie, and he stepped to it, and even the bodyguard couldn't get to it. I don't know. All the white knighting kind of makes me laugh too. But this guy, you can tell that Woody Harrelson is kind of a scrapper to begin with, right? And I don't think that there's a lot of people in Hollywood that are very real. I think he's one of the people that are pretty real. But they also, you choose what you're doing. Again, you're in a situation where here you are. You chose the path for that stardom, and you got something that maybe one and I don't know how many people get and be able to keep a long time going career and do all this stuff. So when people flip out and they see you in public and they want to take a picture, you're sitting there, and they're not taking pictures of his daughter, really. I mean, just it's more him. And you gotta be a little kind of gentler. But I can see if someone's kind of like backing like a jerk, and they're coming at you, and you're just like, hey, just chill out. We're just trying to enjoy ourselves. That ain't gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. And then we come back to reality, right? This Virginia dad who was vilified for defending his daughter. And so here's the story. It's a very controversial story. And it really isn't at the same time. It's controversial because the people who make it controversial want to push the edge and have people accept things that they don't want to accept, they shouldn't accept, they want, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, it's political, but then at you know what, at the base of it, there's an underage girl that was raped in the school, and not just one actually, but two. So okay, let's see. The callousness is what was so hard to stomach from the progressive elites of London County, Virginia, the wealthy dormitory community of Washington, D.C. So already it's packed, it's very liberal based, right? And they're trying to push very strict liberal laws on people, and things that they don't even understand what they're pushing and putting forward. And this is the interesting thing that gets me about this whole situation, right? Let's just listen. The people there in the school, they had a big school meeting, right, over what had happened. They said they laughed, they cheered when plumber, regular old plumber, everyday guy, works for a living, Scott Smith, was crash tackled by police and humiliated at a school board meeting on June 22nd as he tried to raise the plight of his 15-year-old daughter, who he said was raped and sodomized in the school bathroom by a boy in a skirt. So no one expressed any concern for his daughter. So imagine you're the guy, your daughter was raped by a transgender in the bathroom, girls' bathroom. Now they're transgender bathrooms in that school, and the school is not only acknowledging what happened, are looking the other way, and saying it didn't happen in some cases, because they're more concerned about the agenda, but not about the individual offender. Okay, the story's going to make you mad. If you have a conscience, this story is going to make you really mad. So no one there expressed any concern for his daughter, right? There was no compassion, not from the superintendent, Scott Ziegler, who claimed baffingly at the meeting that there had been no assault in a school restroom anywhere in Loudoun County, and airily dismissed parents' concerns about the risks of transgender bathrooms. So he's pushing the agenda. We need these transgender bathrooms. It's the right thing to have. So in America, 3.4% of Americans identify themselves as gay, homosexual, LGBTQ, whatever, the whole group. 1.4% of those identify themselves as transgender. So if 1.4% of all people are transgender, and then you're pushing these issues so hard, especially at a time, you know what? I believe in the bathroom should be individual. Bathrooms shouldn't even have a gender. Bathrooms should be you go in, you close yourself in there, and you get out, right? Not a congregate facility like you see in all these schools. My school didn't even have doors where the toilets were. And if you had to use the bathroom, you're just sitting there while people are walking in looking at you taking a poop. How terrible is that? I used the one in the nurses' room, and then I used the one in the janitors, because the janitor's bathroom was always really clean, and the janitors were always really cool. You know what I mean? Cool enough to let me go and use the bathroom anyway. But think about this: imagine your daughter was raped, and by anybody. It didn't matter who. Didn't matter it was transgender, and that's another issue here, because there's the law. No matter who, there's a law. It's rape, and what the guy did to that girl. Anyway, but all right, keep in mind the Scott Ziegler in the story, the superintendent who scoffed at this whole thing. So, right. Time magazine in 2016 called that a red herring. We've heard it several times from our public speakers, but the predator, transgender student or person simply does not exist. This is what the superintendent. So automatically he's dismissing the situation because the person is transgender, that it couldn't possibly happen because it doesn't exist. He's saying that it's impossible if someone's transgender to rape another person or commit that crime. Impossible. It doesn't exist, which is a crazy statement to make, right? So, okay. The rainbow activist who allegedly threatened Smith's livelihood at the meeting told him point blank his daughter's rape 3 weeks earlier did not happen, as if she would know. So he raised his voice and called her a bitch. Bitch, right? For that mild response to her provocation, he was arrested for that. The video of his humiliating, they had his t-shirt ripped off, his belly exposed, his pants pulled down. So this thing went viral all over the world, right? And no one cared about the guy and his family and the daughter. Most important, the daughter who was the victim. They didn't care about that. All of these people who are such crusaders for rights didn't care about the girl who got raped because it was a transgender. So if it was a boy who dragged her into the bathroom and raped her, would that be a crime in that school district? or transgenders can do what they want to do, and they're going to look the other way because they're pushing the agenda. So who's pushing the agenda? Oh, the George Soros funded left wing prosecutor Buddha Beberage reportedly uh, a proponent, of course, of the whole transgender bathroom thing, whatever, tried to get Smith jailed for his disruptive behavior. So there's your George Soros money, and this guy's got his hands in all kinds of issues like this. Here's the plumber. And what's the guy supposed to do? He's just a regular freaking dude, man. A regular guy taking care of his family and his daughter, his 15-year-old daughter gets raped at school. And it doesn't matter who. It doesn't matter that the person was a transgender. It matters that it happened. Number one. Number two, they put someone like that in a bathroom situation with a bunch of girls. Okay, let's continue. Are you mad yet? You mad yet? Okay. Let's see. The George Soros prosecutor, she's against jailing criminals, but all for locking up a political father and looking for accountability from a school that the guy wants accountability. They failed to protect his daughter. So the jeering progressives in the audience that demonized him and dehumanized him, they fat shamed him on social media. They toasted their success at getting him banned from the next school board meeting. So they passed their policy to turn all Loudoun County school bathrooms transgender. Right? Who cares if that made girls like Smith's daughter less safe in the process? Right? So now, all right, the alleged rapist of his daughter was quietly shipped to another school where he did it again. He was in the bathroom with another girl and raped and sodomized that girl. Oh, really? It couldn't happen. It didn't happen. It wouldn't happen with trans. It wouldn't. Oh, really? School superintendent. Is that guy stepping down from the dumb things that he said? Oh, I thought this was the world of accountability where we held everyone accountable. All the people that made their crusades against Trump for all those years, they were certainly preaching accountability for terrible things that people do. What about them? What about them? So they just took the guy and shipped him off to another school where he raped another girl and wearing his skirt, wearing his makeup in the bathroom, took some other innocent girl and destroyed her freaking life. Right? And that is a failure of the school system. That's a failure of every person there. And then all the people who were cheering and all the other stuff, watching that dude, the plumber, rolling around on the ground half naked, being tackled by the police because he used the word bitch by somebody who attacked him and his daughter. That's what this world has become. Shame on you all. Shame on you all you small, little, tiny, peeny brained people. Shame on you all for not recognizing the victims of our society and why you celebrate the people who would victimize them, all because of an agenda, right? Powered by a guy. Every time I hear the words George Soros, I know what I'm dealing with, you know? And he certainly likes to fund things like this, and he's getting involved in our politics, how your backyard works, what happens in your town. And here comes all the mega might, mega power with all the big fancy. I mean, you can't get the talent of attorneys that they use in your local little town. You'd be lucky to find anything like that. So it's an attack, right? Okay. So then Smith's attorney, Elizabeth Lancaster, said if someone would have sat and listened for 30 seconds to what Scott had to say, they would have been mortified and heartbroken, right? But no one listened. Instead, this guy Smith, 48 years old, became the poster boy for the new domestic terrorism. The Biden administration has concocted this whole bit to destroy anyone who gets in the way of their agenda. And it's not Biden. he doesn't even know where he is or what he's doing. You know, like really, I'm sure that he doesn't even understand the pace that he's going at. They kind of just stick him in this thing and stick him in that thing and get him in that helicopter and fly him off over there. So I see how Trump's gearing to run against Biden again. That's just going to make things crazier. Don't you think it's going to make things crazy? We already, we already have the problems with COVID and the whole bit. And you know what? It took General Colin Powell, and then he died this week of COVID-19 complications. Yeah, he was old. Yeah, he had immunocompromised. He had cancers, all kinds of stuff. Let me tell you, man. You know, I'm not all with his politics, but I like the guy, he himself, and I like all the little stories about him over the years on how they'd have these big soirees at the White House or these other places, and here are these kings and queens in there and all these people, and this dude is down like with the drivers having a cigar and a beer. You know what I mean? He's having a beer, not the drivers, but you know what I'm talking about. Like he would like just regular old people, Anyways, but you know he got himself involved with George Bush Jr. and a bunch of bad intelligence and or lies, and that kind of shaped the rest of his deal. And then whatever, man. But COVID-19 is not over yet, is it? And it's not even begun. For what's going to morph into, and you're seeing some spikes, and you're seeing some pretty deep infections going on out there, and massive too, But at the same time, there's other stuff coming. You know what I mean? That we need to prepare ourselves for. But I look at this story, and I think about my school, my high school, Rockville Center, Long Island, Southside High School, and how they treated me. And just because I was a class clown, they kind of made me into public enemy number one, which only drove my personal fame throughout the school. But I wasn't doing things to shock people, and I was just being myself, And I didn't like my circumstances, and like I just nothing was good, So, and my home life wasn't good, and they knew my home life wasn't good, and they don't care about that stuff. They don't care if you can function, They don't care about any of that stuff. They just care about keeping people at bay, and they want people to say yes and push buttons. They don't want people to think for themselves. If you think for yourself in any kind of public school system, you're going to be stomped on, right? They don't want you to think for yourselves. Anyway, the left wing activist group, the National School Boards Association, wrote a letter to the President Biden citing Smith's case without naming him. They urged the administration to use the Patriot Act to crack down on parents who demand a say in their child's schools. There you go. Crack down on parents who have who demand a say in their kids' future. It didn't seem to occur to Biden that targeting disgruntled parents with legislation designed for foreign suicide bombers might be over the top. 5 days later, on October 4th, an obedient Attorney General Merrick Garland issued his famous memo that sicks the FBI on parents like Smith. And this isn't made up crap. This is happening now. This is really, if you're shocked listening to this, you should be, especially if you're a parent, but especially if you're a taxpayer, you know? And this isn't freedom right here. Not being able to fight for your daughter, really, or your son, or anybody, or your mother, or your father, or whoever it is, whoever the victim is. All right. There wasn't a word of compassion in the statement released Wednesday by Loudoun County Public Schools, citing privacy concerns and respect for police matters. It excused itself from school board members and their silence about the Smith debacle and the false information provided to parents. Oh, really? Now it's false information. What's happened to Scott Smith's daughter and the second victim is something that could happen to all of our children, said Smith's friend and fellow Loudoun County parent, Alicia Brand. It's not, isn't it funny how the people that will come out with these statements are proud to put their name out in the press because they're saying the right thing, they're saying what's in their heart, and they're saying the proper thing for our society and our world. These are good people, and good people have no problem putting their name out there. It's the ones that hide. It's the ones that are the ones, the ones who want to look the other way or promote their personal agenda. They're the ones. I don't want my name in the paper. I don't want my name in the press. Yeah, really? You said it. You did it. You own it. You are it. If you're going to walk the walk and talk the talk, then your name should be in the paper, right? So, but this one, it's not a transgender issue. This is a child endangerment issue. You got that right. And that's the basic. You see, the one saying it's a transgender issue is the school superintendent and the George Soros prosecutor and all these. It's a transgender issue. So aren't they the ones who are singling this person out? It's not really even the bathroom issue. It's the fact that the girl was raped in the bathroom by a guy wearing a skirt, somebody who identifies as a female. But he certainly didn't identify as that kind of female when he raped and sodomized that 15-year-old girl. And someone like that should be in prison for 20 years because he raped and sodomized a child. And that's not just one, two. They shipped him off and did it again. It's like the Catholic Church. What they do with their molesters. They found them. They got they suspected people are doing stuff. A lot of complaints on these priests molesting children. They ship them off somewhere else, ship them off to another place with a bunch of kids. They didn't care. The agenda was more important than the case of injustice, right? But this is a child endangerment issue. It's a school child endangerment issue. That's the most important thing, and that's the basis of this, right? So we don't want politics and ideologies and agendas in school. We don't want sexually explicitly material in schools or normalizing pedophilia. Yeah, yeah. You know what? Because there are schools in California and colleges that offer courses in pedophilia. Saying it's a sexual expression of people. This is how crazy the extreme liberalism will get. And once they start making laws, those laws will affect everybody, right? I don't know too many guys or women, moms, that their daughter was raped by somebody else, that person would be able to keep breathing, you know? And I know people say that all the time. If they did that to my kid, I'm going to go kill them or whatever. It's a harsh statement to make, and it's even harsher to follow through. But most people won't do something like that. They'll just get spoon fed the injustice and be sick over it and understand how the system works after that. There are other people that will get pushed over the top, and then those people will go after those and then do whatever they do. And then they'll be branded the domestic terrorists. But they get provoked and pushed to that point. This is the fear that I have for not just this situation, but a lot of situations out there right now in our country, and the morale is so low, so low, and I think people are at their lowest right now. It doesn't feel good, and we need to be supportive of each other and not let outside sources come in. High paid lawyers going into these podunk areas and pushing people around, because it is the citizens that make up this country. It is the citizens in your town, your state, that makes up that town and state. It is we, the people, who pay the money for this country to run. So we don't make demands. These are expectations. They say we're making demands. No, these are expectations of what we deserve from representatives that we pay for. That's the reality, you know? No matter what you think you would do if your child was raped in the bathroom by somebody, you certainly would want justice. And not just justice for your kid and the next kid that they did, but others too down the line, right? So This woman is the lawyer for this guy. She said that the reason the June 22nd meeting got rowdy was because the Progressive School Board had stacked the deck by opening public speaking slots a day earlier so that pro-transgender bathroom activists could fill the slate. So then the guy goes in talking about how his daughter got got abused, and look what happened, right? Uh, So one after the other, activists spoke in favor of the unpopular policy. Blah 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 blah. One said, "Hate seems to be dripping off the followers of Jesus in this room." So they drag Jesus into it. When when parents in the room objected, the board threatened to close the meeting and instructed them to use jazz hands, silent gestures instead of cheering, or clapping. Then the anti-Jesus speaker was reallocated for her time so she could repeat the hateful remark. When see, this is how crazy people are. They're dragging Jesus into it. He wasn't in that bathroom with that girl, I mean, it wasn't Jesus that did that. Oh, it's the Jesus people. How about justice people, right? So when former Senator Dick Black, ugh, what a horrible name, finally had a chance to speak, it should be Dick Cheese. If you're gonna go for it, go for it. Former Senator Dick Cheese finally had a chance to speak, and he said it was absurd for teachers to call boys girls and girls boys, and lamented the Loudoun County schools for teaching children to hate others because of their skin color. The crowd gave him a rousing cheer instead of the using the jazz hands. So, so the school board shut down the meeting. So I don't know. Let's see. At least the judge, Royce Lamberth, had recognized that civil rights abuses are taking place in a Washington, D.C. Anyway, that doesn't matter. All right. So, jazz hands or not, you know, it comes down to justice. And these people are using the transgender issue saying that you have to have these bathrooms, that because of this incident doesn't mean you shouldn't have transgender bathrooms. That's really the heart of their discussion. Where it comes to this guy Scott Smith, the heart of his discussion is wanting justice for his daughter. And then instead of sitting there in a jail for rape, they shipped that kid off to another school, and he raped another girl in that school. So now you have two victims and two sets of families that have to go through this, plus the family of the one who thinks he's female and whatever. And I'm not saying, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, this is my statement. You can be whatever you want to be, all right? Male, female, you want to identify as this or what? You want to identify as a pirate and walk around, me hearties. That's fine. Don't hurt anyone. Don't hurt anyone. Period. End of sentence. I'm going to leave it there. This is me on this show here, the Red Pill News. Take the red pill, take the red pill, take the red pill. I'll see you guys next week on this here show. I love you all. And I'd rather go to the bathroom outside on a tree, like a bear in the woods, man. Like a bear in the woods, than be stuck in some of these disgusting public bathrooms, like in the public schools. Oh, you couldn't even walk past the boys' bathroom because boys will peel over the radiators, man. So when they came on, it was like, that's boys. Bye.